More local coverage now, looking ahead to what's always a hot button issue that will be heard today at the Rhode Island State House.
The House Judiciary Committee set to hear testimony on a number of gun-related bills this afternoon. 12 News reporter Kayla Fish spoke with people on both sides of this issue. She joins us this morning live with the preview.
Hey, good morning. I spoke with people who oppose and support the 6 bills relating to firearms, some that have been brought before lawmakers in the past. One would ban the use of magazines that hold 10 or more rounds. Another would ban the possession, sale, and transfer of so-called assault weapons, defined in the bill as semi-automatic shotguns or pistols with certain magazine capacities, threaded barrels, or a number of other features. There's also a bill that prohibits the possession of a firearm on school grounds unless the person is a retired law enforcement under contract to provide school security, or the person unloads the firearm and keeps it in a locked container in their vehicle. Proponents of the bill say other states in New England have similar legislation. The leader of the state coalition against gun violence tells me these bills would help keep people safe.
So these are bills to enhance public safety. They do not remove anyone's ability to protect themselves, but they're really to protect the public.
But gun rights advocates say Rhode Island already has robust gun laws and tell me instead of creating new legislation, it would be better to enforce the rules already in place. A gun rights advocate tells me these bills create a slippery slope and called them, quote, deceitful.
They just keep pushing the envelope, and at the end of the day, it isn't about safety. And that's what has gun owners so frustrated right now, is that we just keep getting pegged the bad guy and we're not the one committing crimes.
Now, the House Judiciary Committee says nearly 350 people have signed up to testify at today's hearing, which is taking place at 1 p.m. Coming up in the next half hour, I'll explain how this hearing will differ from those in the past. For now, live in Providence, I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.
A lot of people wanted to have their voices heard on a number of gun-related bills at the State House.
So this is video from the day of a similar hearing last January. Hundreds gathering to testify. They will not be able to do that in person this year, of course.
And 12 News reporter Kayla Fish is live in the capital city with how things are going to be different today.
Well, the State House is still closed to the public due to the pandemic, which means this afternoon's hearing on those firearms bills is going to be virtual. Now, in the past, as you just mentioned, when these types of legislation have been put before lawmakers, members of the public, both for and against the proposals, have filled the State House to voice their concerns. This time, there was a deadline of 4 p.m. yesterday to apply to provide verbal testimony today. The House Judiciary Committee says about 350 people applied by that deadline. As for how the hearings will go, the committee chairman says sponsors will have 3 minutes to speak on each bill. Then 3 advocates who support the legislation and 3 who oppose it will also have 3 minutes each. Then members of the public who signed up to speak will have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make their points. The chairman says these rules were put in place due to the high number of people who signed up to testify, and they're designed to make the hearings as efficient as possible. But if you would like to make your voice heard and missed the deadline to apply yesterday in order to be heard verbally today, you can still apply to submit some written testimony to the House Judiciary Committee via email. Live in Providence, I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.